Folks, this is Wolverine's dad. I've only made a couple of videos on YouTube. The previous videos I made were non-political. They were actually meant to help anybody who was having trouble with their Windows systems. So anyway, I'm going to make this video short and sweet. They've been using the television to control us for a long time. And some people know it, some people don't know it, some people won't accept it. They believe everything that comes out of the mouth of everyone on television for whatever reason. They don't understand that many of those people are well paid to lie to us, because the people who are paying them have an agenda that does not have anything to do with our benefit. It's become a real problem, and I think it's really become a national emergency. We have an enemy media that's trying to convince us of lies constantly. And if you don't believe that, ask yourself why you would ever send your children or grandchildren into a meat grinder for someone else's benefit. Because that's what war is. And they use that box to convince us to go along with their schemes by shaming us. They shame us. They tell us that we're not patriotic, that we don't love America if we're not willing to go along with it. So they shame us. And right now, they're shaming us by telling us that if we carry this so-called pandemic around to people who aren't healthy and they die, that's somehow our fault. That's not true. This virus has been around a long time. I had it last year, the year before last, and the year before that. When I get it, it starts out as a scratchy throat, a scratchy sinus, and then I start getting a dry cough. So I understand what's going on, and I know to go to the pharmacy and get Mucinex or Robitussin so I don't end up in the hospital with pneumonia. But the Robitussin works, Tylenol or whatever works for headaches, body aches, and it goes away in a few days. But they're trying to convince us now that it's something more sinister when it's not. And the hospitals and doctors who are following the orders of the CDC are claiming that anyone who has the virus in their system is reported as dying from the virus, not with the virus. There's the big difference. Just because someone has the virus doesn't mean they died from the virus. They could have had a heart attack, they may have died from cancer, or a number of other illnesses. And if someone is not healthy and they die from it, it's not anyone else's fault. It's because that person is not healthy. The virus is what it is. It's always been here. But they're using that to shame us into taking our rights away. They've taken away our right to free assembly. They've taken away our right to freedom of religion. And it's amazing to me that I live among a generation of cowards who will cower in their homes and allow these people to steal from us what our ancestors fought and died to keep. But then I remember, in 1812, the British burned the White House to the ground. And Andrew Jackson called for volunteers to help, and only 3% of the population showed up. Thank God for those 3%, because they chased the British to New Orleans and made them surrender. But the other 97% were willing to go back to slavery because it was easier and safer. You're pathetic. You people are pathetic, and it shames me.